Many organizations understand how important culture is to the bottom line. However, they struggle with knowing what to do about their culture. In fact, the statistics, especially from the Gallup polls, are showing that employees today are becoming more and more disengaged from their organizations. They're just showing up in body and not in spirit. But organizations find that the idea of changing their culture to be very amorphous. They don't know really what culture is or how you would change it or how it even came to be. And so one of the things that our company does is we support leaders and the executive teams in really understanding how their culture formed and what they need to do in order to shift it. Some companies think, oh, there must be some magic flip chart that shows the exact elements of an ideal culture. Oh, why don't we just borrow what Google does? They've been the #1 person on best places to work for the last 4 years, and they have those principles. Let's just borrow that. But there is no flip chart with the ideal culture. It depends on what the organization is trying to accomplish, what it is that they really need to support their success. For some, it might be a real focus on customer service. For some, it might be efficiency. It all depends on their value proposition. And so we begin by working with our clients to really understand two things. What is their current culture and what is their desired culture? What is the things that they need to have in place that enable them to thrive? What are the things that already exist that are happening when they are working at their best? And then from that analysis, we identify what are the things that are going to be needed in order to shift a culture. Now, companies that are in their early stages, that are just perhaps 10 years young or younger, a lot of the focus on the culture change occurs with the top executives and the executive team because they are modeling the behaviors. They are teaching in every minute their values by what they pay attention to, what they ignore, the decisions that they make. They are actually forming the culture. And so by shifting the leaders' behaviors to be in alignment to what they want is often a very successful culture intervention. However, companies that are older, and I've worked with a number of companies that have been in business for over 100 years, the approach has to be a little bit different. So now, what the company values and all the decisions that has made over time about what it values is embedded in their systems, their structures, their strategies, their processes, and how they do things around here. And so in older companies, it's very critical to also not only work with the top team and the executive level, but also to be looking at the policies and the structures that are in their systems to see if they are really reflective of the vision they have for the culture that they need. And we have been very successful in supporting organizations and moving through this process in a very customized approach so that we really partner with those executives and the executive team to help them to understand what they need in order to thrive, to be successful, because we all know that culture is the most significant driver of all the decisions and actions in the organization, no matter what they have on paper for their strategic plan. Okay? When we come in the door, we establish a partnership with you, and we always begin by listening because we really want to understand your perspective on things that you've tried, where you've been successful, what you think is already working, and together we create a partnership about what we need to do together in order to create the results that you want.